When we try to hide our emotions, there are days when we smile at everyone, even though our hearts are breaking inside. Nights when we stare at the ceiling in darkness, emotions rising like an underground tide, but never quite taking shape. We tell ourselves to be strong, to hold it together, to hide the parts of us that feel too vulnerable. And over time, hiding our emotions becomes second nature. Like if we don't keep them in check, the world might collapse, or worse, someone might see the trembling truth behind our eyes. Perhaps someone once taught us that showing emotions was a sign of weakness. Maybe we believed that if we revealed our sadness or pain, others would use it against us, judge us, or even leave. Maybe, at some point, when we were honest about how we felt, that honesty wasn't welcomed, and from then on, we shut down. We built walls, wore smiling masks, and walked through our days pretending everything was fine. And gradually, even we weren't sure if we were truly okay or just good at hiding it. It's understandable why we choose to conceal our emotions. The world isn't always a safe space for openness. There are situations that demand silence, moments where we must tuck our emotions away, because someone else is hurting more, because professionalism is required, because there is no room for fragility. But that doesn't mean we have to live like this forever. Suppressing emotions for too long drains us in ways we can't always see. We begin to feel disconnected, not only from others, but from ourselves. Conversations become shallow, relationships grow distant. Worst of all, we lose our sense of who we are. We no longer feel alive, but instead exist as a polished version of ourselves, perfect on the outside, hollow within. Emotions are not something to be hidden. They are a vital part of being human. Feeling anger, sadness, fear, or heartbreak doesn't make us weak. It proves that we are alive, that our hearts still respond, still care, still ache when wounded, still rejoice when loved. When we bury these feelings, they don't vanish, they lie dormant, building pressure beneath the surface, until they erupt in sudden breakdowns, unexplained outbursts, or a deep emptiness we can't name. Hiding emotions also distances us from genuine connection. Human beings bond through empathy, and empathy requires vulnerability. When we always act like we're fine, others assume we need nothing, that we're self-sufficient, uncheckable, and emotionally distant. But loneliness doesn't always come from being alone. It often grows from being unable to share our truth with anyone. Sometimes, we even forget how to feel. After so much hiding, we lose the ability to name our emotions. We no longer recognize what hurts us, what delights us, or what makes our hearts beat faster. We go through the motions, fulfilling roles, meeting expectations, but forget why we began in the first place. And that emptiness, that's the most dangerous kind. Healing doesn't come from silencing our emotions, it comes from facing them. Admitting I'm sad, I'm angry, or even I feel lost, is already a step toward freedom. Not everyone will understand or welcome our truth, but we owe it to ourselves to acknowledge it. No one else can breathe for us. In the same way, no one else can feel our feelings for us. We must allow ourselves to feel, to sit with those emotions, and then, gently, learn to let them go. Living authentically with our emotions doesn't mean letting them control us. It's not about letting anger explode or sorrow consume us. It's about recognizing what we're experiencing so we can respond with awareness and compassion. Think of a crying child, not ignored, not scolded, but gently asked, "What do you need?" That is the kind of tenderness we must offer ourselves. We may not need to tell our story to everyone, but we all need one space where we can be real. It could be with a close friend, a therapist, a journal, or even just a quiet moment with ourselves. That space doesn't have to be large, only honest. We deserve a place to lay down the roles we play, to be vulnerable without fear, to cry without shame. And when we live truthfully, something incredible happens. We begin to heal. We learn that our past wounds don't define us. We realize that sadness isn't an enemy, it's a message from within. We start listening instead of judging. Most importantly, we reconnect with ourselves and with others in ways that are more honest, more meaningful, and more lasting. Along the way, we will be misunderstood. Sometimes people won't know how to receive our honesty. That's okay. No one understands us better than we do. And self-acceptance is the strongest foundation we can build. When we find the courage to say, "I'm not okay," that's not weakness. It's a beginning to return to who we truly are. Not who the world expects us to be, but the real person behind the silence and the smiles. Emotions don't disrupt our lives, denying them does. Like rain, they don't need to be hidden. We don't have to pretend it's sunny when the skies are gray. We can find shelter or walk through the storm, whatever we need in the moment. But at the very least, we must stop lying to ourselves. Emotions may be messy, but they are real, and anything real deserves to be honored. This world needs more honesty, not perfection, not constant happiness, just truth. The kind of truth that says, I'm hurting today, or I'm tired of pretending. The kind of truth that says, I need a moment to breathe. When we show up as ourselves, flawed, tender, human, we give others permission to do the same. And together, we create spaces where we don't have to hide anymore. Living like this isn't easy, but it is worth it, because nothing is more beautiful than a person who has stopped pretending, who has taken off the mask and chosen to stand in the light. Not perfect, but whole. Not fearless, but free.